the Real Estate Training Podcast with Kiki Salcido, turning decades into days.
Hello and welcome back to the Real Estate Training Podcast. I'm your host, Kiki Salcido, and today I'm so excited to talk to you guys about this because today we're going to be talking about your job, being a real estate agent. How fun, right? We love it. That's why we got into it. So this is a question I ask every single broker that comes into my office, and that is, what is your number one job? Number one, first thing, number one priority, your only job, if you will. A lot of people say it's take care of the clients. It's to build relationships. It's to, man, I can't even think about it. Think about it right now, right? Throw something out there. I'll give you guys a few seconds. Ding, 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 ding. That was terrible. All right, guys, what is your number one job? Your number one job is to prospect, right? Because you can't do any of those other things unless you have somebody to do it with, right? So you can't find somebody a house. You can't negotiate a strong contract. You can't do all of that other stuff if you don't have a client, right? So what is prospecting, right? So the actual definition of prospecting, right? It's a verb. It's to explore an area for a mineral deposit, right? So your job, ladies and gentlemen, is to literally search for gold in your area, right? And the gold is the relationships. So I also think it's funny that people get hung up on commissions, right? Because I'm not talking, right? Whenever I'm talking about finding gold in your area, I'm not talking about the money, guys. Yeah, the money is a sweet benefit. We all love money. It helps us feed our families and keep a roof over our head. So it's not a bad thing, right? It's okay for you guys to like money, right? But what I'm talking about as far as finding gold in your area, these commissions that I think are more important than the actual paycheck is those relationships that you build, right? Have you ever been in a situation where somebody looks at you, maybe you just handed them the keys to their new house, and they just smile? And they don't say anything, right? But it's a smile. And they're not smiling from their face. They're smiling from their freaking heart, man. And that is the commission. That's what we're talking about. Seeing a family tear up as they walk into the house that they love, right? That's the commission that we're talking about. That is the gold that we find in our communities. So that is your number one job, is to prospect. So prospecting, finding relationships. I know people are like, oh man, how do I find relationships? How do I meet all these people? And so every real estate company, they're going to say, go through your database or build your database. And that is so important. You have to build a database. But the big thing is nobody really explains what a database is. So I'll tell you, a database is getting all of those people that you know in front of you so you can get in front of them. It's organizing, right? Because how do I know when the last time I talked to Susie Q if I didn't note that, right? If I don't know what we were talking about in the last conversation? Because guys, you might have 4 people you're talking to right now, but this is a compounding business because it might be 4 this month and then it's 4 next month, but that's 8 people you have to keep in contact with. And so on and so forth, right? So you can imagine in a few years, you're going to have a huge database that you're going to need to follow up with. So how do you do that? You need to get some sort of CRM, client relationship management. I believe that is the correct verbiage for that. I'm not 100% sure, but you need to get it. Some people will do Excel spreadsheets. That's totally fine. Some people will go on to other services. I use Follow Up Boss. Shout out to Follow Up Boss. I think that is one of the best things out there. My brokerage, they utilize KV Core. KV Core has a lot of additional features, marketing features, lead generation features that help. But we'll get into the actual lead generation bit a little later in another episode, because that is a whole topic in itself. And we've done everything. We've tried literally probably every lead generation source out there. So I do want to spend some time and talk to you guys about things to look for, things to avoid, right? But right now we're not worried about lead generation, because you have in your hands, in your database, right? Or in your sphere, right? You hear people talk about your sphere of influence or your circle of influence. These are your people that you know. And if any of you guys have ever heard the 6 degrees of separation, I don't know if that came from like a book or something. I heard it at a conference, and they always use Kevin Bacon, right? 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon, 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. And so basically, who you know knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody that knows Kevin Bacon. And you can really break this down with anybody, right? The current president, whoever just won an Oscar. You can break that down with that 6 degrees of separation. You just might have to try a little harder with with certain people, right? But you can do that, right? So if you build out this little database, right, you can go through your phone, and this is where a lot of people will start, right? They'll just download, a CSV file from their phone, and that'll be the start of their database, right? You got the phone numbers, you might have some birth dates, maybe some addresses, you got the name. That's kind of what you need to follow up with them. And then we'll start taking track or keeping track of what we talked about when we followed up with them the last time. And then we'll probably build up some sort of a campaign. And this is very important, right? Because consistency is key. So we're going to build plans to help you follow up with each one of these clients, because that's the most important part, is the follow-up. Just because you're a real estate agent doesn't mean everyone wants to buy a house right now. So you got to be in front of them whenever they're ready, because everybody knows at least 5 real estate agents. Guys, seriously, go onto their Facebook. You'll find 5 other real estate agents at least in their friend group. So this is, this is kind of the thing. Whenever I was in real estate school, I remember thinking like, oh my God, like there's so many real estate agents. How is there so much business going around? But it's because a lot of real estate agents suck. Guys, I'll be honest with you. A lot of people suck. A lot of people are not good at their job. They do not take this profession seriously. So you have to. And if you do that, you will conquer. You will dominate your segment, right? You will literally destroy your competition if you can organize yourself and follow up with your clients. And if you can continue to educate yourself, we talk about Shoshim. We'll mention Shoshim many, many, many times. But if you keep that, right, that beginner mindset, that's what Shoshim means, FYI. If you keep that beginner's mindset and always educate yourself, that is the pursuit of mastery. And whenever you pursue mastery, you can then teach other people, right? And you want to teach other people because you love the knowledge that you're learning, right? It's filling your cup, and you want to fill someone else's cup. So you're going to fill your client's cup, and you're going to educate them on this process, right? And then throughout that, we're going to build a whole system that's going to eventually automate through your CRM. Guys, this is, right, we're talking next level stuff, but it's going to be automated through your system that's going to be educating your clients at such a high level. I guarantee you your competition's not doing this. And they're not, if they are, they're not doing it systematically, consistently. These are the type of things that you need to start doing today so that you can build that business of the future, right? Get to that 7th level, if you guys know what I'm talking about. If you don't, millionaire real estate agent, okay? Gary Keller, he wrote this book, back in the day, right? It's a little dated, but the freaking value is there, guys. I read it every year. I read it with my peers. I read it with my team. It's one of the best books out there for you to kind of structure what your future is going to look like. So you're pursuing mastery. You're building these systems. You're automating it eventually. And your clients, guess what, guys? They are impressed and they love it because they don't get this level of service. And we're in the 21st century, guys, and the level of customer service has dropped dramatically. So if you do anything well, do the customer service well, because that will get you. Dude, I will pay so much more money for somebody to treat me like, with that white glove service, because, I'll go to a really nice hotel and that's what makes it nice, is the customer service, right? People talk highly of Chick-fil-A and their customer service. I went to Dutch Brothers and, was astounded by how friendly these people were, right? And that's why these places are doing well, right? They build that culture, and they're huge on customer service. So if you can do that, you're going to get, guess what? The best thing on the planet. Referrals, guys. Referrals. That is the best thing you can possibly get. Word of mouth, hey, use so-and-so, is the best thing you can possibly do. Because even though we're in this information age, more people have that short attention span. So rather than, oh man, let me look up who's the cheapest lawnmower, they're not going to do that. They're going to ask their buddy, hey, do you know a good lawnmower? Yeah, use so-and-so. Boom, they're going to use so-and-so. They don't even look it up. They don't even price compare anymore. Some people do, right? There's more analytical people than others, but for the most part, because the nation has such a small attention span, they're just looking for referrals, man. So build that referral network and you will become a champion in your class. So hopefully you guys learned a little something. Again, I feel like I'm going to drop a book in each one of these. I'll run out of books eventually. Maybe. I don't know. I love reading. So do that, guys. Love reading. Love educating yourselves. Show shim. Always. Thank you for tuning in to the Real Estate Training Podcast. Again, I'm your host, Kiki Salcido. Turning decades into days. Hope you guys learned got some good nuggets. Check out our Facebook, Instagram, K2 Simply Real Estate, and check us out online, k2simply.com. And I look forward to seeing you guys at the next podcast. Go crush it.
The Real Estate Training Podcast with Kiki Salcido, turning decades into days.